The college football experience, Bombs Down Under episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use the promo code CFBX on your first purchase to save 20 American dollars. Download the Game Time app. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, play the underdog, all right? Play the underdog, pick them in college or pro, and win up to 20 times the amount of money you can enter in one game. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use that promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for 100% deposit bonus up to $500. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey, this is Bill Romanowski. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the C Block. Bombs Down Under. College football weekend bomb edition. If you're wondering, we got a lot to talk about. We got injuries. We got fans getting arrested in their underwear. You see that? we got storming the field, security guards looking like Willie Roaf. All right.
Or Joe Jacoby pulling guard, kind of,
100%. He's definitely spent some time as a guard or tackle. Just a fantastic week of football. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Fun times all weekend. Fun times. I know my friend here might be upset about a thing or two, but we'll talk all about it. I am joined as part of the C Block. You know what that means, folks. Up next, the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. And my co-host on this episode is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs. They call him the man in the box. Give it up for C.J. Sullivan.
Yes, thank you, Dundee. We're back here on a Hangover Monday. Yep, good weekend. Got touched up a bit. Some rough beats we'll get into. Just across the board, I'm looking at whatever. We can get it. We'll get into all of them, the Duke and LSU's. And one game, I had a bad beats a couple places around.
Yeah.
Sparty. Duke was the worst of them all.
Oh, yeah. And I was on the other side of the Duke
you're
one,
on
so
ND.
I was dancing.
But I'll tell you what, the one that upset me the most, I wasn't even a part of. It was, and that was Penn State Northwestern. Franklin going to cover these games is fucking insane to me. Like he's being just a complete asshole at this point.
Here's why.
He's a terrible human being to begin with. That's on the record. That's documented. But it's terrible checkered pass in Vanderbilt, bringing that over to Penn State.
I think he's winning over because, look.
No, I know why he's doing it. He's doing it for his boosters, and those boosters are assholes too. Trust me. I know Penn State land. I know Happy Valley. I know these people, and they love it that they're covering. They run it, and they run it up, and it seems like every game they're not covering at the end.
Yeah,
and they do. They have to run West Virginia then and running it up. Northwestern. I think they got the pick. He tried to get a pick six.
Illinois. They do the
Illinois
same
was
with Illinois,
absolutely gross, like all of them.
Well, look,
And then they fake taking a fucking knee. And
I
they do
know.
the play, and they do the RPO.
it was like
over
out
the
of Rudy.
top.
It was
I know.
like straight out of Rudy. It's like, now here's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right with the boosters, but I can tell you this: the average Penn State fan is not a James Franklin guy.
Right.
So even last year, I
Yes.
feel like they were like,
Which is
This
even
is how
worse.
you win
and
over the
they are
average
the
fan.
even worst of the worst people's the student body at Penn State in their fucking DraftKings account. I'm just kidding. I love the kids out there.
yeah. I mean,
Big
you're from
parties,
Pennsylvania. You should know. No, you're from Jersey.
They're-
right?
Yeah, but
I'm sorry.
Pennsylvania,
That's Pennsylvania, right?
but Penn State was the evil empire inside the middle of Pennsylvania. They, I mean, god damn it. That culture was a real thing. Obviously, not to bring up the Sandusky thing, but like that it's an encompassed fucking culture, and that was one of the grossest covers I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
of them
How about
running
the
up.
interception by
Does
Northwestern?
anyone ask? See, there's no one in Penn State to ask them, right? Are you doing
No.
this to cover a spread? No. Then why would that come up?
And he'd give you a Bobby Bowden answer. And track, do you slow up
Right.
at the end of the race? No, you keep going. Hunter Vick in the chat says, is the reaction show not uploaded to Spotify? Look, so I did a reaction show. It's on YouTube last night.
Mm-hmm.
Every other week, it's for the rest of the season. It's going to be on Saturday nights. I had to go to one of my best buddies' planned like surprise birthday party on Saturday night. So, it's going to be back to Saturday nights. But look, I didn't upload it to Spotify because I recorded it at home, and we had some audio problems. But it is on YouTube if you want to watch it. There were some audio problems. I'm not putting it out as a podcast because of the audio issues. But it is out there. It's available. And after like 5 or 10 minutes, it becomes decent to listen to because I realize I just need to stop playing the soundboard. So go listen to that if you want. But we're going to recap pretty much everything here. So and shout out to Kevin Bowman. It says, good afternoon. Moneyline West Virginia play. I told you, folks.
Yes.
I told you.
You did.
Dub V is a contender.
Neil Brown. What a job. He's the coach of the year
That's what I'm saying.
right now.
Dude, I guarantee you he was the guy giving Hugs the drinks. He's like, hey,
Right.
hey, let me get these people off my
Yeah.
back.
They were finished. Pick to finish last.
14th. And that's what they call themselves, Team 14.
Team 14.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real chip on their shoulder, not one
Yeah.
that's made up. I mean, they were
Yeah.
picked the dead last, and he said, he can't wait to prove everyone wrong, which he did. And they're 4-1 right now.
4-1, and they played Penn State.
Very
I thought,
tough.
Yeah, considering.
Of course,
yeah.
they didn't cover because James Franklin's a fucking goddamn sociopath. But yeah, they played him very good. And they were the top to the end.
Yeah, I had a pretty fire weekend. I mean, I killed it in the NFL too, man.
Mhm.
But we're going to talk all about it. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience, Bombs Down Under, and the C Block is brought to you by Game Time. Yes, buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be that stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and the best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you'll be having at that very event. All right, so look, and they have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price. In fact, if you find tickets in the same section or row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference, people. What are you doing? All right, so snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code SGPN to get $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account, redeem that code SGPN for 20. I'm sorry, I fucked this all up. CFBX for $20 off. CFBX for $20 off. SGPN's my other ad read. CFBX for $20 off. Look, I'm used to fucking things up. All right, so bear with me. Anyway, download the Game Time app. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Game Time. All right, we are back on the college football experience. Got to gather my thoughts because I'm used to fucking shit up. And I mean, I had a pretty epic Friday night. So Saturday actually wasn't like amazing for me, but it was my Friday night that really started the weekend off with a bang. Because I have a large wager on Louisville over, I think it's 7.5 or 8 wins. I think it's 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I knew in the beginning of the season that this 3-game stretch, I knew they needed to not trip up against Georgia Tech in week 1. They got through that. Then I knew this 3-game stretch of at NC State, home to Notre Dame, and at Pitt. I figured they're going to lose to Notre Dame. If they can just win one of the two in the ACC, I feel like this thing's going to hit. And then Pitt's looking so terrible. I feel like both are going to hit. So this was a huge win if you have the Louisville over like myself. I also did take it -3. That pushed. I thought there was a touchdown in the right corner of the end zone that the refs just said, nope, not a touchdown. So I have that. That was a big win moving forward to the win total. Then I threw a shit ton of money down on Oregon State minus, I think, what was that? What was that? 3.5?
Well, then went 4. Then it went up to 4.5.
Yeah.
Then down to 4. I think it went off that.
I thought that was the easiest play on the board. It was really 21-0. Utah got like a touchdown with like 5 minutes left. I had Oregon State. I had BYU, and I got the worst of the BYU number because that thing went over 0. I had it at -1. But I also parlayed those. So I had a great weekend there. And then I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, Louisiana Tech, UTEP, it's on TV. Let me bet it.
There's only one side to take.
Yeah, La Tech. And boom. So I had an unbelievable Friday night.
Life has gotten so much better for me now that I've started to fade UTEP and stop being stubborn. I keep being stubborn and taking them with the number. Like, what am I doing? Just why am I doing this to myself? This team is just failing.
Yeah.
So now went against them. That was great.
Now the chat's asking, and yeah, shout out to Chad G. The chat's asking if we think Cam Rising is going to play this year. I do. But the question is if you're Utah, do you play him? Because you can redshirt him this year. So you have one loss right now, which you can still make the CFP. I think this is a conversation Whittingham's going to have with Andy Ludwig and his team is that, what do we do here? Next year, they're still loaded.
Yeah. He's going to want to play, though. He's been wanting to play the last couple of weeks. He can say,
and you only have one loss. If you have two, right. I think you could say.
For sure. So
I think he's probably going to end up playing.
Enough of this shit. Football players play football. That's what he wants to do. He wants to come back and play football. You know, ice him and redshirt him for another year. He wants to get out and play.
Yeah. I'm with you. Is Cam Rising going to the NFL? Well, before the injury, I think that was a guarantee that he would be drafted. I'm not saying he'd be a first-round draft pick, but he'd be drafted.
Yeah, it'll be different. Well, I mean, he'll get in there.
I mean, Stetson Bennett got drafted. He was a fucking walk-on. You know what I mean? Like,
there's Desmond Ridder, first-round pick, and he's playing the worst fucking offense I've ever seen. People were looking under Zach Wilson. Fuck Zach. Zach Wilson's fine. Desmond Ridder is a goddamn disaster out there.
Yeah, someone had the Falcons. I think that's what that means. No.
Yeah. No. I had Jackson. I had Jackson, but I'm like, it's just. But they were talking about like, oh, we got to open it up now. We got to throw. We can't be too unreliant. Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though. I have a future also in Louisville to make the ACC championship. I think
there's a path.
I mean, they don't play North Carolina. They don't play Clemson. They don't play Florida State. That was my logic beginning of the year.
I like it.
And I want to say, if they can just beat Pitt, like I said, the Notre Dame loss, who cares? If that happens next week, if they win, great. But if they can just beat Pitt on the 14th of October, their remaining schedule is home to Duke, which once again, a huge game because Duke is fighting for that same spot. Duke doesn't have an ACC loss. Then home to Virginia Tech, home to Virginia, and then at Miami. That's the last of their ACC games. They have the Governor's Cup against Kentucky in the final game, but that's irrelevant. To me, a 2-loss team is probably going to come out of there. Now maybe the Duke game is the bigger game since they're competing, but I just feel like if they beat Pitt, they're pretty much there. Because even if they lose to Duke and Miami, you got to ask yourself, Duke's got to play at Florida State. Duke's got to play at North Carolina. There's a lot. Duke has a harder path where I feel like Louisville might lock it up with the win against Pitt. But maybe we say, even if they lose to Pitt, I'm going to go ahead and say it. They beat Pitt. I think they're in.
I say if you lose to Pitt, they should
cancel football.
They should not win the ticket out of principle. You should not cash any ticket. They should not win any conference. I mean, Pitt, I cannot believe how bad Pitt is.
That one I did not see coming. I actually thought them having Keaton Slovis last year did not fit Pat Narduzzi's identity as a team.
Right.
They go out and get Jerkovic, who is from the city of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He's reuniting with the former offensive coordinator that he had in one of his best seasons at Boston College. I was buying in to Pitt being Narduzzi, always is great along the line of scrimmage. Well, not necessarily this year. Not necessarily this year. And then also Jerkovic looks awful. Awful. I mean, I thought Pitt would be a contender in the ACC. Nope. They might be the worst team in the ACC. I mean, short of Virginia. I don't know. I mean, and it's a shame for Narduzzi because if he wanted that Michigan State job, this was the year to win. He's got Michigan State ties. So
yeah,
with that job being open,
I mean, I don't want to hear from Pitt again. I have all the over tickets on them, but after getting blown out by Vatek,
yeah, a bad Virginia Tech team.
Stay out of my peripherals now for at least for October. I can't even look at you.
Yeah.
In October.
Yeah, I agree.
Get out of here.
Sucky $5 says, "Are you ready for a 10-2 West Virginia team?" Yes.
Sure. Let's ship it.
Let's talk. Okay, and then so Oregon State.
I like this ACC ball talk.
Yeah, I'm looking at the conference race. I think it's kind of.
Let's get right into it anyway. Let's get this Duke Notre Dame nonsense out of the way.
Oh yeah,
I gotta get this out of the way.
Yeah. Look, I felt incredibly lucky.
We battled here on
cover
I
this.
know, right? It was one of my favorite plays, just for the spot run. Although I will admit Notre Dame was up for it. Wasn't a really flat
They're
spot.
up 10-0 early.
They were,
but
right.
Hey, I thought Mike Elko. By the way, Duke, pay the fuck up because I know Michigan State's calling Mike Elko.
Mm-hmm.
Keep Mike Elko in Durham. Invest in football, and you won't end up in the fucking Big East because pre-Mike Elko, you were destined for that.
Yeah, that D was great.
He's a very, very good football coach. And I did think, though, he fucked up on the final play. On this drive, so Duke's holding a 14-13 lead. First off, I thought it was a little conservative to punt.
That's what I was going to say. Before we even get to this, why are you a little conservative? They're on the fucking 35-yard line.
Yeah. But their kicker was short on a
cares? Go
I think you
for
go
it. What's
for
the
it.
difference? Go for it.
Yeah, I think you go for it. I think that's the play you
if
hope
you
that,
miss, you're doing the same thing as punting. You get 15 yards.
and you maybe get an offside,
right.
you maybe get a defensive holding, face mask, like
anything but punt. I would have taken any option but punt.
But he's a defensive coach, so he thinks his defense. And to be fair, he did get them in a 4th and 16. But he got them in a 4th and 16 by sending the fucking house. Very well-timed blitzes. And to me, it was shocking that on the 4th and 16 where Sam Hartman has an 18-yard run, they only rushed 3. And first off, I find it almost impossible to run for 18 yards when you only rush 3.
Right.
But I disagree. I know Mike's a great fucking coach. So I'm sure he's kicking himself because the play before they sent the house, Hartman almost threw a pick. It hit the Duke corner.
Right in his hands.
Yeah. I think if he has that back, he sends the house, makes Hartman uncomfortable. And look, I don't understand why you don't when you have 16 yards to get and Notre Dame's receivers are injured. Like, I get it. The tight end has been shredding you all fucking game. Double the tight end. Send the fucking house. I don't know.
I don't know how that 4th and 16 happened, and then after that, it was almost inevitable. Oh, well, they're gonna break off a touchdown, 2-point conversion. How did they not even cover the goddamn plus 5?
Well, that part I was like, well,
that was
I gotta be honest. In a way, I was like rooting for Duke because I wanted Duke to have this win.
Yeah.
But then when I saw, he get the first down, I was like, well, maybe I can cover this game, make a little cash.
I can't
make a little
score
cash.
A touchdown and a 2-point. That was just absolutely disgusting. Just disgusting. But I take it back to the punt. I mean, I couldn't believe when they punt. When these coaches do that, and like their analogies are like from the 80s.
Or think about this. Well, I don't know because if he tries to kick a field goal there, I know he was short on the other one.
Right.
But 52 is not that long.
Not that long. I'd rather them go for it. Just go for it.
Well, that's because you're 5.5. You still would have lost, right? No, you would have covered that.
Sure, of course, absolutely.
I just feel like in college football these days, a 52-yarder at a Power 5 school should be acceptable.
No, well, absolutely. Especially you see the way these kickers are. College kickers are funny because they're either complete disasters,
Yeah.
you getting off the streets like Clemson, bringing their guys from the board of trades, coming back over to kick some insurance salesmen, or they're drilling them like because they're going to fucking camps nowadays and they're not and they're slicing them.
Well, you know what college has, and it's funny actually. It's funny you mentioned this because I was talking to someone. Who the fuck was it? Someone I was interviewing. I don't remember, but was talking about how everyone shits on college kickers, which is fair because you have obviously when you have 133 college kickers, and some of them have more because you're battling kicking positions like ECU did, but you also have to kick from the angles. This is one thing I wish the NFL would do. I hate the fact you kick in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
I love the fucking angles because kicking's gotten too good.
Well, it's the hash marks are different.
Yeah,
that's
what
the
I mean.
thing. The hash marks are wider than the goalposts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I love that strategy because sometimes you see some terrible coaching.
Yeah.
Where they line up their own kicker to kick it like a fucking,
right.
Like a crazy angle.
Especially in college, the shorter it is, like you want to be back up, like take some penalties, back it up.
Yeah,
a 19-yard kick like on a 90-degree.
The NFL kickers are so good that I feel like they should implement.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
They're so good.
But yeah, I mean, unbelievable game there. So the ACC picture, obviously, Notre Dame. Let's talk about for a second here. Notre Dame has one loss. They almost pretty much ruined their playoff chances had they lost this game because remember they can't play in a conference championship. The remaining schedule for the Irish is they at undefeated Louisville this week.
Now you like Notre Dame at Louisville.
Look, and I have I think I have the pulse very close, very accurate to.
And we just heard how invested you are in
I think it's
Jeff
a horrible matchup for Louisville.
Okay.
Louisville's not super physical yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's in year one.
Right.
I think Notre Dame's going to fuck them up.
Okay.
But so if they get through that, which is still an undefeated team, then they're hosting USC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another undefeated team, and more. There will probably be. I know USC hosts Arizona this week, but I expect them to be undefeated. Then they get Pitt, and that game's a little interesting because Jerkovic talked shit about Notre Dame after he transferred out. Then they're at Clemson, and then home to Wake and at Stanford. Should be fine there. But do you think the Irish will lose another game?
Yes.
So that means they would pretty much be eliminated from the 4-team invitational. Now let's talk ACC because you have Duke, who has 0 ACC losses, a tiebreaker on Clemson. Clemson wins at Syracuse in a game where I feel like Syracuse could have had 5 pick sixes and they dropped all of them. Clemson still looked pretty good besides those passes.
Yeah, that was such a weird game. I liked the Cuse earlier than I got talked back into Clemson, and you're right, they dropped a lot of picks sixes, but Clemson still looks better.
Yeah, Clemson was still the better team.
Yeah.
Florida State though obviously has the tiebreaker on Clemson. Florida State's 2-0 in conference. They barely beat BC. They beat Clemson, but the remaining schedule for Florida State in conference: home to Virginia Tech, home to Syracuse, home to Duke, 3 straight home games. You got to love that, right?
Right. I said after that Clemson game, they're not going to lose another game.
They're going to the ACC championship. So then they're at Wake, which actually Wake's kind of had their number lately, but I think this Wake team has regressed a lot from last year. At Pitt on November 4th, which coming into the season, I had said this is the one they're going to lose. Not right now. It looks
absolutely not.
And then home to the Miami Hurricanes. That's a rivalry game. Maybe they get that, but I think they've pretty much solidified a spot in the ACC championship, even though I thought Clemson was better than them when they played.
Yeah. Oh, I think for sure. Clemson should have won that game.
Clemson had like 140 yards more offense, but
didn't happen. And now I think, they're definitely running that table.
So I think then the thing to watch here is you have Miami, who's undefeated, who we really don't know. I mean, the A&M win is good, but we'll see. They haven't played any conference games. They get Georgia Tech this weekend. You get North Carolina, who's undefeated. You got Louisville, who's undefeated, and you got Duke, who's undefeated. So you have four real contenders in the ACC, and I find this race fascinating because this is Florida State hasn't played for the ACC championship since like 2014. So that will be a new face. But now you have this situation where you have Duke, who has the tiebreaker on Clemson. So they've already won a huge fucking conference game. But here's Duke's remaining schedule. I touched on Louisville. Remember, Louisville's hardest game, home to Duke, at Miami in late November. But they can lose those two. If they lose those two and just beat Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Pitt, they'll only have 2 losses. Duke's remaining schedule, Riley Leonard, high ankle sprain. He didn't break his ankle like some thought. But they get a bye. Luckily, they get a bye this week because he wouldn't be going. And I kind of question if he'll be able to go. But they're playing NC State in Durham on October 14th. It's a tough game, especially knowing you might not have your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Then you're at Florida State. I'm factoring that in as a loss, right?
Sure.
But that would be a shocker. If they go and win that one, then you got to think about Florida State potentially not ending there. Or Duke, but then after that, they're at Louisville. Then they're home to Wake, at North Carolina, at UVA, home to Pitt. It's not that. I guess you could say Duke is still, because if Duke beats Louisville, let's say they lose to Florida State, they beat Louisville, they're home to Wake, they win that, they're at North Carolina, that becomes a huge fucking game. They should beat Virginia on the road, and they should beat Pitt at home. So yeah, I guess maybe I'm a little ahead of schedule on the Louisville thing. Maybe that Louisville Duke game will be the whole season, or Duke Florida State. Fascinating fucking race. Let's talk a little bit about the Tar Heels, because they're undefeated. No one's talking about the Tar Heels as they host Syracuse. And by the way, Syracuse only has 1 loss, so technically still alive. I know this is fucking October 7th. We're talking ACC race, but so the Tar Heels are home to Syracuse, home to Miami, home to Virginia, at Georgia Tech. In my opinion, they should be undefeated in the month of October, but that Miami game is a little tricky.
Yeah, Carolina always loses a game. They always drop one game. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, when they shouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the Appalachian game, but that they pulled that out somehow. But
November's tough on Carolina.
But you're right. Nobody is really talking about them.
Yeah, no one's talking about them, and despite having like the first fucking or maybe the first pick of the draft. The Campbell Camels come into town November 4th. That's a win. But then after that, this is where it gets tricky. They're home to Duke, at Clemson, at NC State. I mean, if they lose 2 of those, I mean, that makes that Miami game so fucking huge next week. This race is going to be fucking compelling, because I wonder what the tiebreakers are. I think there's going to be multiple teams with 2 losses, and I wonder if the tiebreaker is what some conferences have it as like the highest ranked, or how much the deficits are in your wins and losses. Anyway, if you had to pick right now, and because there's also Miami, and Miami's schedule, folks, I actually think Miami's is kind of favorable. It makes that Miami North Carolina game so fucking huge. Miami is home to Georgia Tech. Once again, though, Miami hasn't played any ACC teams. This is their first game, which is fucking insane considering some of them already have 2-3 wins.
Yeah.
Home to Georgia Tech, at North Carolina, home to Clemson, home to Virginia, at NC State, at Florida State, home to Louisville, at BC. I kind of think their schedule is actually harder, now that I think about it. If you had to place a wager right now, who's Florida State playing in the ACC championship?
Well, Miami is definitely right, you said they haven't played conference play yet.
Yeah.
But they've definitely
that A&M win's looking better and better.
They've been way better than we thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
We were very heavy on them being under 7.5 because of the built-in number.
I mean, they destroyed your Temple Owls.
They destroyed my Temple Owls. But Shannon Dawson, just a coordinator, just changed everything. That offense is, they attack nonstop. And I'm not saying they're Miami of old, but like they look like they are in modern football. That's for sure, which they haven't for a while. And even their athletes. I mean, I think the schemes almost help those athletes. They don't have those elite athletes like they used to. Like they don't have the same athletes Florida State has.
Yeah.
But they're pretty close. They're getting good. So I don't know. I think Miami's been the most impressive of all those teams.
But I also think they have the hardest road.
They do,
I kind of
sure.
think Carolina and Louisville have the easiest road.
I want your Louisville. What's your Louisville ticket at?
I think it was plus 1,200.
Beautiful.
If memory serves me correct. It might even be more.
Should
than
be higher
that.
than that, right?
No, I gotta pull it up. Pull
Anyway.
it up. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. But anyway,
Bromley's even up for coach of the year in my eyes. I mean, the way they've looked great except for last week. But that was for them to got that win. I was on NC State, but I was like, just because that's how those Thursday night tough road games are,
Yeah.
So for Louisville to gut that win out, that's good. Good on them, and huge win for your total, obviously. So yeah, maybe we'll give you. I'll be pulling for You're Louisville, but if I had to choose one, I'd still choose Miami just to win it.
Well, the problem would be I would need Louisville to then beat Florida State.
Which who knows, because you know what? Florida State looks great, obviously, but we don't know about their defense. You know, they score 30 points a game. Sure,
they almost lost to BC. If they do that shit again,
you're right.
Pitt could beat them.
They can mess around, play their food, and their defense has not been tested.
Yeah. Dude,
I wouldn't go as far as say Pitt could beat them.
I got plus 1,200. Plus 1,200 to win
the
SEC championship.
Let's get it.
It's going to be fascinating to watch. And I think the ACC is, you know, despite everything burning around, the walls are burning down. I think it's been a very fun conference to watch this year. Some of the other games from Saturday that I want to talk about, though, I mean, there was a lot of
let's get into it.
Texas A&M, Arkansas, A&M. I have an over on A&M at 8 wins. It's looking pretty good. I was very concerned when they lost to Miami, but the past 2 wins against Auburn and Arkansas is kind of reassured. We got A&M, Alabama this weekend in College Station. Alabama lost the last time they went to College Station. I personally think A&M's quarterback injury is a blessing in disguise. I think Max Johnson moves the ball a little bit better than Connor Wegman.
I agree. Wegman wasn't the problem, but he wasn't. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, he's younger.
Yes.
He's younger, so you would have more. He's
sure.
probably got a bigger upside than Johnson, but I felt like the offense moves a little bit more fluid with Johnson. I mean, I know we're going to talk about it on Thursday. Who leaning right now in that game?
Well, I think Bam is finding their stride as well, though. That's the only problem. But you're right; these are 2 teams on their way up. With
LSU just losing to Ole Miss, you could argue the winner of this is going to have the inside track on playing in the SEC championship.
College Station will be lit.
Yes,
as we say.
You're going Bama. That's
I'm
you're telling me you're going Bama.
No, huh? I'm trying to talk myself into A&M, and I can get there. I can get there with A&M. You know, but I think Bama might have found something.
Rebecca in the chat.
And how many times am I going to fall for A&M this year already? We fall for A&M for the last year and a half. All I do is keep falling for him.
Jimbo's going to pull a Neil Brown, save his job.
I mean. Jimbo, Petrino, all the bulls out there. I just talked about some Bama, of course. What am I talking about? Yeah. What am I even thinking about? I just envisioned myself taking A&M on Saturday, thinking, what was I thinking again?
I think I'm
trusting Jimbo Fisher.
I think I'm taking the Aggies.
All right.
I think I'm going to take the Aggies.
Let's do it.
Rebecca wants to know about we have God bless the Conference USA and their new leadership because they have all these weekday games in the month of October. They're basically doing what the MACtion does in November.
God
and doing
bless
it in October.
the Conference USA.
We want football all 365 days of the year. And I mean, she wants to know about Florida International, New Mexico State. Do we have a quick lean? New Mexico State.
Quick thoughts and lean. What do you got there?
Well, the Aggies are laying 6.5, and I love Jerry Kill, but I think Mike McIntyre and Florida International have this team playing way above where we thought. And FIU beat them 21-7 a year ago. I said, and I wonder about the Pavia situation. Is he going to be suspended? Their starting quarterback that was pissing on the logo of the Lobos.
That was amazing.
Great fucking.
You posted
video. That rivalry is back, baby.
Ozzy Osbourne style, pissing on the Alamo. Baby.
Seeing the local news saying, "Let's take on the rivalry too far." Why? Why? That's what's supposed to happen in college football rivalries. I don't even know how he got in the facility.
Right.
That's the bigger question. How the fuck you let
it's a security breach, if anything.
Yeah.
You guys should question your own house.
But give me FIU plus 6.5.
My lean is New Mexico State.
Yeah?
I like that.
It's a far trip.
It's a far trip. I think they win this by double digits.
I just feel like, well, do we know? Are they going to suspend the quarterback? I'm curious.
They should build a fucking statue of him.
They should.
Let someone else piss on it.
Yeah.
Let
some drunken college students piss on it.
Eye for an eye, piss for a piss, pee for a pee.
I will take the points because I think Mike McIntyre can keep it close.
All right. I'll go opposite with you on that one. I'll take the Mexico. I like what I've seen about those pissers.
I wouldn't be surprised if FIU, the airport, could win on the money line. Maybe a sprinkle. Get a little bored on a Tuesday night. Maybe a parlay, Jacksonville State money line, and Florida International.
Wow.
Or is that a Wednesday?
That's Wednesday. That's Wednesday, 10-4.
Next, I think next week.
10-4 over and out.
Let's jump back to recapping, though, because, by the way, Temple did get destroyed this past week to Tulsa. Your thoughts on your Owls?
Well, like I said, but when we did a Temple breakdown, my insider, my insider Liam Bessiker,
He's like,
special
"You're
teams
thinking
expert.
bowl."
He's thinking bowl. He's giving me the ins and outs. The offense wasn't a juggernaut, supposed to be amazing. We're going to surprise a lot of teams. Whole thing, broke it down, and then right before the season started, he entered the transfer portal. Entered the transfer portal.
Welcome to college
says-
football 2023.
Says I'm getting out of this sinking ship. And he was right. Temple's getting fucking fell in her face so far.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Utah State loses to UConn. Hilarious fashion. Not only does Jim Mora know who kills Tupac like 20 years ago,
Mhm.
UConn blows a 17-0 lead. They also storm back to tie the game up. They score a touchdown with like 30 seconds left.
Amazing.
Utah State blocks the extra point. That's how they lose.
Incredible.
0-5. What the hell's
How does
happening?
this shit happen?
Yeah. What
How
the
does
hell?
this happen?
Every time with UConn.
God damn it.
Penn State beats Northwestern. Is Penn State the best team in the Big Ten? Do you think they're better than Michigan and Ohio State?
I've never rooted harder for a team to fall and to get destroyed than Penn State there. After watching them, the way they cover versus Northwestern, we've been covering all year. They are good, but they're not as good as Michigan. They're not as good as Ohio State.
I think they could be as Ohio State. I got to see more. I thought Ohio State would be a little better.
Yeah, Ohio
offensively.
State should be better. They fell 5 spots in Lou Holtz's rankings on a bye week this week. It's just hilarious.
God, get Holtz in front of a microphone again, please.
I love how I love how these guys still have votes and writers that matter.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing here? We're letting
90 fucking years old.
Fuck Ohio State. Should have scheduled a game this week.
UAB covered against Tulane. I know that was Stanford Steve's
That
lock
was
of the
Stanford
week.
Steve's lock of the week. I mean, they were getting 21.5.
Trent Dilfer was yelling.
Screaming at his defense coordinator.
Hey, but you know what I hate? I'm on Team Dilfer here.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate. Well, I do believe social media has made football worse. Like, he's yelling at his defensive coordinator, and it looks really bad, right? It looks really bad because everyone on Twitter, on the interwebs, to quote George W., says, you shouldn't be treating someone like this. It's like, I mean, dude, my fucking
it's in the battle.
my like
it's in the
fourth
damn
grade,
battle,
I
right?
played fucking ankle biters
Listen,
football.
yeah.
If you fuck up, like you're getting a pull. I remember when they would pull your face
Right.
mask.
And look at us. Look how well adjusted we are.
We're in a studio and everything. We got
We're here, yeah.
electricity. I got the Bosworth book back here.
I'm screaming about James Franklin and Louisville future tickets. Grab these kids' face masks. No, but seriously, it's in the middle of the battle. I mean, it gets blown up on social media.
Yeah.
Dilfer's, taking over program, and they play well. They covered easily.
I actually think UAB is going to be. They're showing some signs of
Yeah,
life.
I
They're
like
showing
you.
some
I like
signs
what I
of
see
life.
from UAB for sure.
USC 48, Colorado 41.
Great game.
I mean, Colorado misses an onside kick. It was a horrible onside kick, actually.
Yeah. Great celebs.
Yeah, celebs are everywhere.
They're the team of the year, obviously. So it seems like a Shakespeare play already with Colorado. They've already gone through so many ups and downs. It's been 4 games or 5 games,
and it's going to go back up because
what are they, 3-2 now?
Arizona State,
5 weeks.
but Arizona State and Stanford are next.
Sure,
so they should be.
Yeah, they should win those games, but who knows? But it's just amazing. They've been the best, the worst. Now they're back to underdogs, and they rallied. Looked like USC was going to blow them out again. And then Sanders looked more impressive. Not better than Caleb Williams, but what he did for his team was more impressive, I thought.
Yeah,
to make them come back like that.
So USC fans think they're playoff contenders and national championship contenders. I think with that defense,
it's a joke. That defense is an absolute joke. Look, that's why I told you I know you're on USA. I took Colorado plus 21.5. Did you? Good.
Yeah. It was the week before I was on Oregon.
Well, I know that. I know, but for this one, anyway, because first of all, they was graded out. Like to watch USC give up 28 to Arizona State, who's abysmal.
Yeah.
To grade that out, Colorado's a much better offensive grading out than those teams, and the other teams that USC has been playing is letting up 20, 30 points. That defense will not be able to hold up throughout the
Yeah, I mean, you look at USC's remaining schedule, and it kind of starts this week because I think Arizona can move the ball much like Colorado.
I tell you what, tough gate. I would love it because we talked about this last week. Arizona's got great athletes.
Yeah.
They're waiting to come up. They're a sleeping giant, almost not giant, but you know what I mean.
I want to
They're-
say like the past 2 or 3 years too.
Yeah.
It was a 1-score game a year ago
for sure.
Yeah.
And they gave Washington all they can handle as we predicted.
They got that
And
one
then
right.
But that's a tough back-to-backer though to go into USC now after that.
True. But I think you can make the argument though that it starts like because Arizona, the way they can move the ball, they have to take it seriously in my opinion. Then they have at Notre Dame, home to Utah. You're hopeful that Rising's playing because if not, they will get fucked up by USC. If Rising's healthy, that game can go anyway.
Oh, absolutely. With that defense.
Yeah. At Cal on Halloween, we've said that's a sneaky one.
Beginning of the season, we won.
Yeah.
We had Cal.
Yeah.
We ripped Cal over.
We said that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Watch out for that Halloween game. Not so much anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that one anymore. But then in November, they get home to Washington, at Oregon, home to UCLA. They have a fucking gauntlet. I actually think Cal is going to end up like 6-6 and in a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Arizona is what they're 3-2 right now. Arizona's probably going to be flirting with 5-7, 6-6. So you could make a case that everybody on their remaining schedule is going to be bowl eligible.
Yeah.
That's a fucking gauntlet. Considering their first 5 weeks, Colorado might be the only team that makes a bowl. Arizona State's not bowling. Nevada's not bowling. Stanford's not bowling. Maybe San Jose State gets their shit together and gets bowling. So it's like the tale of two different seasons, man. It's like, the first half you're playing nobody. Second half you're getting a bunch of decent competition. I don't think this defense is going to be able to hold up against all those teams we mentioned. I think they're probably going to lose at Notre Dame. I think Washington's probably going to come in.
How many points is Washington going to put up on USC's
Oh, my
defense?
God. Michael Penix might throw for 1,000 fucking yards. They better hope he gets injured before that or something.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk. We talked ACC. Let's talk about the Pac-12 race right now because this one that you don't have divisions, much like the ACC now. If you had the lean right now, so Washington State beats Oregon State, but Oregon State beats Utah. So those two tiebreakers. Remember, Washington State does not play Utah and USC.
Right.
I actually think if Washington State wins this week at UCLA, I think they might be a front runner to get to the. Now, obviously, they can't afford any hiccups. They have like games at Cal, home to Colorado, where wouldn't shock me if they got upset, but. If they win at UCLA this week, the fact they don't play USC and Utah, I think they might have the inside track. Because I understand at the end of the year they play the Apple Cup and they also play Oregon, right? But if they lose those two, I think a 2-loss team is coming out of the Pac-12 again. It's almost exactly like Louisville or Duke scenario. What do you think for the Pac? And you don't even have the clear-cut Florida State in this situation. You have USC, Oregon, Washington, Oregon State, Utah, Washington State. Really like 6 contenders. Colorado's got 2 losses already, right?
Yeah.
I kind of think of Washington State. I mean, and I guess you could throw UCLA in there. UCLA lost at Utah, but
you definitely that's a team I think people are low on because of that. That Utah game, it is what it is. And that rookie, I think Moore's be better. Like you said, he's going to get better. I think UCLA is a sleeper team in this Pac-12 that you get good value. I like him this week. But I actually like him this week versus Washington State. And Washington State's almost the official team of the Bombers Down Under. We love these.
Yeah.
We love these.
We
Cougs.
love the Cougs.
And McAfee came after him on game day, by the way, this week.
I know, dude. Fuck him. What is he talking about? Oh, they need to stop complaining? Why? Because they're being left aside from everyone in fucking college football?
Corporate man now at McAfee.
I swear. Yeah, he's back at ESPN.
Yep. Back in his corporate shell, Disney.
So wait,
praise the mouse, McAfee.
Dude, if Wazoo beats UCLA,
big game. They got to beat UCLA. And then what did he say? The schedule was? Did they not play? They play USC.
No, right? They don't get USC or Utah. Okay. So check us out. If they beat UCLA, they'll be sitting there at what 5-0. Mm-hmm. They're hosting Arizona in Pullman, which I would lean towards Wazoo winning that. Right. At Oregon. They lose that, right?
They lose that.
At Arizona State, I think they can win that. Home to Stanford, at Cal, home to Colorado, and then it sets up for an Apple Cup with Wazoo only having 1 loss potentially if they beat UCLA this week.
That'd be incredible. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a big game for Washington State, and that they've been our darling. They've been awesome. They have the most impressive record by far. Right now.
Well, the reason why I think Wazoo would have the inside track over Washington, even if they lose that game to Washington, the Apple Cup, is Washington. They host Oregon next week. They're home to Arizona State. At Stanford. Okay, they should beat Arizona State and Stanford, but then their November is fucking brutal. At USC, home to Utah, at Oregon State, and then home to Washington State. I think Washington State would have the inside track to make the Pac-12 championship.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fascinating. I mean, then you have Oregon State, you have Utah. If Cam Rising
it makes
starts
sense.
playing.
The Pac-2 left behind.
Pac-2. Let's get an Oregon State, Washington State Pac-12 championship.
Not to do any spoilers for Thursday's Down Under Bombs, but I'm definitely leaning UCLA in this game coming up.
Yeah, I mean they're coming off a bye week.
Yeah,
both.
Right.
Yeah,
they're coming off a bye week, but and off that loss and the rebuilding chip, and I know there's no home field advantage really here.
That's the thing that has me hesitate.
We're gonna get a home field advantage show when Colorado comes in October 28th.
Bringing my sunglasses.
Yep.
But
we'll see. Washington. I'm rooting for Washington State. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Pac-12 race is going to be fascinating. How about James Madison? They just continue to beat fucking – I ate shit on this one. I had South Alabama money line. JMU gets it done.
I can't believe it. First game back for the big road trip.
They're fucking nasty.
They're unflappable. James Madison's unflappable.
They were in the FCS 12 months ago.
Come on.
They come out and they're just swinging.
Can we get them in a playoff?
Yes. Florida, Kentucky. How about the Wildcats?
Wow.
Easy
now
money.
that –
Easy fucking
good
money.
Lord.
Dude. What's Florida's final schedule or record going to be? They're 3-2 right now. They get Vandy in the swamp this week.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be 4-2. At South Carolina, though, I kind of favor South Carolina, 4-3. Cocktail party against Georgia, 4-4.
4-4.
Home to Arkansas.
Although, what's going on with Georgia, for Christ's sakes?
True. I think they can beat Arkansas, though.
They should beat Arkansas. And I gave out Auburn as a play.
But then their remaining schedule at LSU, at Missouri, home to Florida State. I don't know that they're going to get the 6 wins. Do they fire Billy Napier if they go 5-7?
Something's got to change. I mean, they brought in
they brought in Graham Mertz.
That's what I mean. They brought in Graham Mertz.
Why?
Like all the decisions they make are terrible. Like what did Graham Mertz show you in Wisconsin where you want to bring? You know what? I think
we got this kid. He's throwing for $112 every Saturday
at a school that never produces quarterbacks. Let's see what
Napier goes $112.
Good God!
Let's get him in here.
Yeah, let's get him in the SEC. See what happens. And that defense was good. I mean, they were good coming into it, and they just got shredded.
Kentucky's 5-0, and they're at Georgia this week.
Now, Kentucky's finally swayed you, right? You're finally a Kentucky believer. You weren't for a while.
I'm still not.
All right,
I just think Florida sucks. Florida sucks.
Fair enough. So it's time to fade Kentucky. I like it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, even though Georgia burned me this past week, I was on Georgia minus 14.5. They fucking burned me. Do you think Georgia's
what
the
I'm
best
saying?
team
That
in
Auburn loss versus the Aggies might not be as bad as it looked like that. Maybe when A&M beats Alabama this week, you're going to say, "Oh, of course Auburn should have beat." Was going to play Georgia competitive. That loss,
but Cal should have beat Auburn too.
Yeah, Cal should have.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
you
joking.
can take this
I'm joking.
anyway.
Auburn's not good.
Yeah.
I only played Auburn because of that rivalry and the way it was. I just didn't think I just thought they were able to hang around
there
for 14.5 there.
Should
have won that game. They should have won that game outright.
If they could move the ball.
Right. That was a problem.
You know, mainly passing. Yeah. I feel like they were running the ball successfully.
Yeah, I thought they were.
So UCF was beating Baylor 35-7, and with about 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and lost.
Amazing.
36-35.
Well, there was power on the sidelines going on there.
That's true. You had Ed Orgeron, the legend. With some big titty blonde,
turn around some eye candy.
Yeah.
I like a middle-aged eye candy too. I like they're hanging on, looking great. They were looking great. Beautiful couple, looking great on the sideline there. Amazing comeback. Although, how about that 4th and 5 conversion? What the hell was that?
Tech-mobile.
That was
fucking Tech-mobile.
That was great.
Yeah. Folks, this game was the craziest game of the whole Saturday.
Easily.
If you're gonna rewatch games, I don't know if you love football that much, but I do. Where I rewatch all these fucking games all throughout the week. Put on YouTube TV record. You can set your recorder to record every fucking game. So Baylor UCF is a gem. It's out there. Go watch that game. It might have salvaged Dave Aranda's job, and They only have one loss in the Big 12 now. So if they can right this ship, they got the Butt Bowl coming up, them versus Texas Tech.
Right.
But look, their next 4 games, home to Texas Tech, at Cincinnati, home to Iowa State, home to Houston. They could easily, and they're going to get their starting quarterback Shapen back. Dude, that UCF win was fucking gigantic because they could end up being 5-1 in conference play heading into Manhattan, Kansas on November 11th.
Real quick, that's another you just brought up another bad memory of a bad beat this weekend that I just forgot that I had.
What's that?
And I know they've been terrible this year, but I took Houston.
They were up double digits at one point. I was feeling good.
Quarterback threw 4 fucking touchdowns in the first half. Darren Smith, and this is Houston. You would have told me that.
Andre
I was
Ware back
cashing
there,
it in.
right?
100-yard in Texas Tech, backup quarterback who looked fine, but then he was supposed to be kind of hurt too. They were almost going to put a wide receiver in there and throw a wildcat.
Baron Morton. Yeah.
They had a 100-yard kickoff return, a blocked punt for a touchdown. I mean, any little Susie's fucking. I mean, like
Holgerson's gonna get fired if they keep fucking around.
This is insane. Yeah. It was insane. They scored every way but offensively. Texas Tech to cover that spread. I couldn't believe it.
You had a tough weekend.
Tough. And I was like, oh man, I hate to back Houston, but you got to when Texas Tech's played. And I'm like, what was I thinking? I should have poured more on. They were burying it.
I was on Michigan -18, easy play against Nebraska.
Yeah,
Nebraska's terrible. I was on South Florida money line. This one was a fucking wild sweat because Navy was up 14-0 in like the first 3 minutes of the game.
I know. I think that's what's tilting me more. Just I can't see these scores too early. It's gonna go early because they mean nothing. And it gets swayed so easily.
I need to do a spiel on this though.
Yeah.
Hey, college football, Big 12, every conference really. Mm-hmm. Can we get some fucking injury reports? Because in fantasy football, I play a regular college football, fantasy football. I started Jalen Daniels. Well, in DFS. Multiple DFS lineups. I started Jalen Daniels. And I decided to bet Kansas +17.
Oh, I have them everywhere.
So I just got completely burned by this fucking he's out with a back tightness. What the fuck? They weren't even reporting this all week.
Did he
He played the week before.
That's amazing.
Back tightness.
What
the hell is going on?
I had him
here?
+17. I had the over, everything.
That just was brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. Texas has won 3 straight games against backup quarterbacks. Everyone's got him in the fucking national championship. Now, I will say Texas does look good, but God damn it, it's very fortunate to play 3 straight backup quarterbacks.
I can't. Yeah.
Who are you taking, Red River? I think Texas is probably going to fuck up Oklahoma, actually.
You're making a good point, though.
I hear you turn on
because Texas
turn on ESPN and like the Texas Longhorn defense is fantastic. I was like, no shit.
Yeah, you can't get Texas at a higher ranking right now. I mean, whether and like that's a huge thing. Not playing Daniels and of course the Wyoming's backup quarterback. I'll take Oklahoma with the points for sure. Actually,
I actually think
about it.
But Oklahoma's played nobody. I actually think Texas is going to fuck them up.
I did too. But it's in Dallas.
It's true.
They're looking for Oklahoma.
That
got
is
a nice
one of
defense,
the best.
That
is one of the best college football games you can go to.
Yeah,
they're playing at that old fucking stadium that was built in like 1890, right? They got a fucking state fair going on at the same time. I love the fact because I feel like this is one that I need to address this. Don't ever move from this fucking stadium, all right? Because I feel like we're probably. I feel like Sankey's going to say, "Why don't you play this game at Jerry's World?" No. You got to play this here. Mm-hmm. It's fucking perfect. It is college football. The shit hasn't changed. This setup hasn't changed in fucking forever. It's great. They have the fan base divided.
Mm-hmm.
Right down the fucking goalpost. Half of it is Oklahoma.
Yep.
Half of it is Texas. It's
half
beautiful.
Half stairs. Yeah. Half them are. But you know what I mean? If that'll get over, that line will get over 7.5 scores game because that one's gonna be taking Texas, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, not to make the prediction. I mean, how can you not? They look amazing. So I'll take if it gets over a touchdown, I'm taking Oklahoma.
Yeah. Hawaii did not beat UNLV, buddy.
UNLV is a force. we got a problem. Now we got a problem with UNLV because we have the unders. We got fans on the UNLV fans on Twitter coming out.
Now we got a problem.
What the hell is going on? They got fucking Anderson Hunt and fucking Moses Scurry back on the football team here?
Armin Gilliam sneaking around.
What is happening? The Hammer? I mean, I'm terrified. That was my number one. Like, I put a gigantic amount of money on the under on UNLV.
So got a chance. They've been surprising. Good, and shout out to UNLV.
Well, hold on. They got to get to 7. Hear me out here. We're going through.
All right, let's do it.
All right. They're on their bye week this week. Thankfully, I'm not going to be throwing anything at the television.
All right, we'll take that.
But they got the Fremont Trophy with that big ass cannon. That's fucking the best trophy in sports in Reno. Nevada's awful. Who's winning that game?
I know. We can only hope this bye week trips them up a bit.
Rivalry game.
Gets his momentum.
Maybe Nevada shows up, and I kind of think UNLV is going to get that, right?
UNLV looks unstoppable right now. Are you kidding me?
Well, here's the one. October 21st.
Yeah.
So if they get through Nevada, they'll be 5-1, and they're hosting Colorado State, who I think is decent.
Yep.
That is, to me, the one you circle. Colorado State has to win that game.
I feel like we're doing the same thing we did in the preseason. We're going through it's like getting these. It's like we're going through.
Well, I thought they were going to lose the Vandy.
I know. We're just trying to will this now.
I thought they're going to lose to Utah.
We're trying to will this at this point.
So they go 5-2 there.
Right, well, I'll give Colorado State a win. Keep going.
Okay, then at Fresno, they're not winning that.
They're not
5-3, right? Then November 4th. Now this might help us because UNLV's little dome team. They got to go to Albuquerque. But New Mexico's horrible.
Yeah, they're beating New Mexico.
All right, so that puts them at 6.
Yeah.
The very next week, they get Wyoming. Wyoming's good.
Now, if anyone's going to rally cheers for old Dundee, it's
my boys.
It's your Cowboys.
I'll text. I'll text Craig Bowl.
I mean, you were on the field. You were asking if they're ready for a big game.
Don't fuck me on this Craig Bowl, right?
I'll give you Wyoming. Yep.
So that puts them at that would put them then at 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
At Air Force. They're not winning at Air Force. Is a fucking
Air Force is behemoth.
Holy shit. What is going on there?
Right.
They're fucking
it's gonna be Air Force Fresno undefeated for the championship.
Well, Fresno this week's a huge one. Fresno goes to Laramie.
Yeah, they're winning it. I'm seeing it. It's Air Force Fresno undefeated and it's for a fucking championship. I mean, and they should be it's amazing.
Okay, and then UNLV's home to San Jose State on November 25th. I think San Jose State is good enough to beat UNLV.
They are.
So 6-6, we push. I get my money back, and my wife still, stays married.
Yeah, there we go.
You know what I mean?
See, we can get all the $75 stuffed animals we want at that point.
That's true. I'm getting a lot of those fucking stuffed animals.
You still ain't getting a tip.
Yeah,
say that much.
Trying to shove that tip in my face.
Amazing.
What's up with that? Where they throw the little.
They swing the iPad around at you.
And they just think you should tip
now
on everything.
It's going to ask you a few questions. And I don't even mind sometimes. Like, I would tip at some of these places, but I don't want you fucking looking at me when it happens. They stare at you. I'm like, well, turn around. I just swing it back at them. Turn it around.
I have an issue with the tipping thing when they haven't done shit.
Of course.
Like, you go into a place and you're building it yourself or whatever it is. Like, I went and grabbed a stuff. So the story he's talking about here is I grab a coffee in the morning. We're walking past like the equivalent of like a kid's toy, KB Toys or something. You know what I mean? I know that hasn't existed in 30 fucking years.
Love KB toy stores, in the mall.
But like they have like a little toy store right next to me here in Santa Monica, California. And my wife goes, let's get one of these stuffed animals, which costs $70 fucking, which is unfucking believable.
Because the baby will love it.
Yes,
the baby will remember it and it'll acknowledge it. It knows what it is.
It's soft. But so I go grab it off the shelf.
Yeah.
Bring it all the way over to the counter. Uh-huh. And then I pay $70. But $70 she flips the iPad on me and says, "Would I like to,
Would you like to add on to her salary?
What the fuck is that?
What else do you want me to do?
Maybe if you grab me the fucking animal,
yeah,
but still no. What is this? What are we doing?
What else do you want me to help out with? Do you want me to pay for the electric bill at this place, dude?
Yeah.
You guys need help with rent? What do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude,
doesn't your boss
everywhere now?
Doesn't your boss pay you?
Yeah, this is everywhere now, though, right?
I know, it really is. It's insane.
Unbelievable. Anyway, folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. You can win up to 20 times the amount of money you can enter in a single game by going 5-full-5. And from now until October 4th, you got 2 more days on this, folks. Underdog's matching 100% deposit. 100% of the first deposits up to $500. And they're also giving away $100,000 every Sunday. What? $100,000? I'm going to need that if I had to keep buying $75 fucking stuffed animal monkeys. Anyway, there's a total of $2 million in prizes all season long up for grabs. They're also giving $10K to 10 different people each week. New sweepstakes every single week of the NFL season. So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little extra cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, UnderdogFantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Are we on the Seahawks tonight?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I gave out.
That means you're on the Giants.
No, I gave
right?
out.
Okay.
I gave out Seattle's my contest pick on the Bottom Line Bombs, which is live on the C Block after this show every Monday and Thursday. For the contest pick. But the more that, like I said, that was Thursday. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, the more I gave out Cleveland too. I didn't know Deshaun Watson was just going to act like, no big deal. I'm not going to play. Oh, really, Cleveland?
I had an unbelievable NFL week, but I got very fortunate. My largest wager was on the Ravens. And I did not know. I did not have inside information that Deshaun Watson was not going to play.
Fucking insane.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good spot for the Giants. They've been on for 10 days, and Seattle's a better team, obviously. But Geno Smith can give you whatever the hell.
Seems kind of chalky. Seems like everyone's gonna be on Seattle, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Everyone is on Seattle, so it is a bit of a contrarian play. That's kind of the way the Giants like it. The ball. I think Giants rallied.
All right. Well, there you go.
So I give out both sides. If you listen to the Bottom Line Bombs, if you listen to the Bottom Line Bombs,
part of the C Block.
If you listen to Bottom Line Bombs, I'm on Seattle. If you listen to me on the Man in the Box of the College Show, I'm giving you out the Giants.
I like this strategy.
Yeah.
We were right on Georgia Southern minus the points against Coastal.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
Great
hit there.
Great bomb.
I lost a good chunk of money on LSU minus 2.5 because
LSU.
I knew that line fucking smelled. That was the Courtney Love game of the week.
Courtney Love.
The Courtney Love fucking game of the week.
I did Courtney Love, and now in that game, 9 of the last 11 times the home team has won.
Unbelievable.
Covered it. But the points in that game was
706. This game sucked, actually. Right. I hate football like this. I don't care how many people. Look, there's so many people say, that game was incredible.
Yeah.
See, that was back and forth. No. Anytime I like good defense. This game sucked, all right? No one could get off the fucking field. 55-49, and I felt like they left points on the board in a couple scenarios here.
Right.
I mean, shout out to Ole Miss for getting it done. I thought Kiffin out Coach Brian Kelly and his family. But, I mean, 706 yards of offense by one team.
Let's just talk about LSU's defense in general. It's not just, it just wasn't this game. I mean, all season long, I thought they were going to be good. They got amazing returning starters, coming back there. They can't stop anyone. Let me see some of these stats here. 6.47 yards per play, which is 13th out of 14th in total yards.
What
points
the hell? Dude, you want to talk about how I had LSU. I have the over on LSU, which is not going to hit.
Most allowed in
school win out.
Most allowed in school history, by the way, 706 yards they gave up.
I have a future.
That's unbelievable. You can't even comprehend that.
Yeah, no, for LSU too.
LSU to go 55 points.
You have like 5-star defensive backs everywhere.
That's what I mean. They got fucking all SEC players everywhere, up and down the lineup.
Dude, Brian Kelly's gonna get fired if he fucks this up. Because
I would love it.
I mean, I have a future for them to get to the CFP.
Yeah, it won't be this year. Yeah, it is. It will. I mean, it will be this year, but next year he definitely will be on the hot seat. It won't be this year, but this is igniting the flame.
Yeah,
you can burn that ticket too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just unbelievable. Now, LSU essentially has to win out.
Yeah, that tilted me. I was huge on LSU.
I knew that line reeked, though.
It did, but, they still should. But that being said, they still should have won and covered the game. I mean, they gave up, 21 points in the fourth quarter, and it was, fucking, 14 in the last, 2 minutes. Yeah,
they had a 9-point lead. I felt like it was safe.
Yeah, it was pretty safe.
Yeah. It's we got a 9-point lead, and there's 7 minutes left. No. Next play was an 80-yard touchdown.
That was ridiculous.
Just their defense sucks.
Anyway.
But, dude, they're going to lose a lot more games if they don't fix that defense.
Fuck yeah. Mizzou's coming up. Good night nurse on that one.
Yeah, I'm cooked if they lose that. I mean, I feel cooked anyway because are they going to beat A&M and Bama?
No.
They got to go at Tennessee?
No. It's going to be a rough one
They're
for
not going to win that either.
It's going to be a rough winner for the Dundee family. When LSU doesn't come close to those overs. Sorry, the stuffed animals are going to come from the dollar store, honey. The family's taking a hurt because of. You can thank Brian Kelly for this one.
I mean, East Carolina loses to Rice too. I mean, just pissing away all my fucking money.
You went out. You went
can't
after
do
our
shit
Rice
right now.
Your Pirates went after our Rice.
Dude, they fire this fucking Mike Houston guy. Did you see? By the way, did you see that Ole Miss fan on the goalpost?
Yeah,
like making out with the fucking goalpost. He jumps down completely, try to do like a flip onto his feet, just lands on his back. And we also had that sweet ass security officer.
No, he was the best.
Folks, if you haven't seen this, once again, we're on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Very hilarious video of a security guy.
The fans rush the field, and he's one by one. They're coming at him like a contest, and he's got in a full pulling guard position, reaching out like it was like a blocking drill.
Yeah,
coming out
yeah,
like he would
really
get a hand on one, he'd chase, he'd give up, and then he only gets one elbow on this girl, this fucking nice little wing bone at her, a little chicken wing, and knocks her complete on her ass. It was great.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
And I'm trying to.
And Ole Miss will get fined for storming the field. He got
$100,000.
Yep,
$100,000. I'm trying to share my screen really quickly.
Against our policy.
I'm trying to share my screen. How do I do this again? Present, share screen. Hold on, because I want to talk about this Tennessee fan.
All right.
I want to talk. This is gonna be a catastrophe. You're gonna see how many windows I have open. You're gonna be like,
this
what
is amazing.
the fuck is going on
Get
here?
some incognito windows up there.
Chrome windows. Where the hell?
It's all Google searches for how much do I tip a stuffed animal employee. Does KB Toy Store still exist? How about Toys R Us?
Is this working here? How do I? Huh?
You asking the fans?
Just sharing?
It's not. It would be
not.
right there.
Oh, I got it now. I got it. Ready?
All right,
so, South Carolina loses to Tennessee. And I did tweet this out. What is going on with the Vol Nation?
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize he's wearing a South Carolina shirt. But how about this fan right here? I mean,
I did see
how
him, yeah.
fucking great is that? What is happening? Why is his pants down?
Oh my God, he didn't even know a football game was going on. He just showed. That's just how he shows up going around. I mean, if they obviously fell down as he went up. He has.
I mean, look at that cop. The cop in the back's getting it easy. Like the cop in the front is like, God damn,
all right.
I gotta grab it.
Well, and you got to get in there and move her things around. They don't get paid enough for that. That's how that woman in the White Sox game snuck the gun in. She put it under her stomach, and they kept setting off the detectors, and then they kept doing the wand, and the guy's like, I'm not going in there. And fucking just go. Hey, you promised not to shoot that thing, right? Yeah,
I mean, come on. This is the funniest shit ever, right?
This is so.
Look at this guy.
That's beautiful white trash.
Why?
Right
I want to know the story. Why is he
it.
getting arrested? Someone had to film this besides just a photo.
So goddamn redneck. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, you think Tennessee is alive? By the way, are they alive back in the mix?
Just in general?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course they're alive. They're just not. They're not the same team as they were last year. We were on those unders, which is still up in the air. But Milton, yeah, I'm just not a Milton believer, but I do love the coach, of course, and they're still alive.
I'm going to, they're still alive. I still think if they host Georgia, that game looks more winnable every single day now, right? And
if Tennessee does fall out, it's possible Georgia can go the whole year without playing a ranked team, beating a ranked team if Tennessee falls out.
And Kirby Smart, remember they asked him, this is one of the stupidest fucking answers.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, SEC Media Day. They're like, hey, what do you think about national media saying that your schedule is soft? So, yeah, you guys think it's soft? Yeah, well, come play it. What the fuck does that mean?
What? All right, we'll play it.
I'm
okay,
sure.
I'll get a team of writers together.
Yeah, Washington would be like, yes, this sounds fantastic.
All right.
Play fucking UAB, UT Martin.
Yeah, everyone would love to play that.
Anyway, the chat is enjoying that photo. Look, I know we got to get out of here, and I want to ask you this.
We got to get out of here because the bottom line bomb is coming right
block.
up. Don't forget C blockers who are laughing. If you like that photo, wait till you see What the outfit I got ready for this game.
Yeah.
So.
Buddy, I want the floor is yours on the Michigan State at Iowa game.
Michigan State at Iowa.
You had Michigan State, and so by the way, you do have a future on Wisconsin to win the Big Ten West, which I have one for Iowa. Cade McNamara announced out for the year. I'm pretty much fucked. I think Wisconsin now has the inside track of getting to the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
But you also had Michigan State, right? You had Michigan State money line.
All right, Sparty money line and plus 9.5. Plus 9.5.
It was like 14-14. What was it? 16-16?
They were up 3 with 5 minutes to go. They're up 3.
So you got basically 12.5 points there.
Against Iowa. Right, yeah, 12.5 versus Iowa. We got a fucking, God damn. Punt return. Iowa's just doing.
Punt return by a white guy.
Yeah,
that hasn't happened since 1947.
I know. Well,
yeah.
I am the pioneer of the wide angle sports release, though.
Yeah.
Where
Tim Dwight did go to Iowa.
Tim Dwight was Iowa, and
of course, he had to be Iowa.
Tim Dwight was one of the kings of the wide angle sports. Is where when you have a white skilled player, which they're very rare.
Yeah.
Your Christian McCaffrey's of course the king right now. The other team other players on the field can't believe he's that fast.
that they pause.
They take bad angles. They take the white angle on them. They're running into each other.
Not the wide angle.
Yeah,
the white angle.
The white. They take the white angle on him. Next, Tim Dwight's down the sideline.
And
scoring 81 touchdowns like he did.
So they have a punt return for a touchdown.
And that's exactly what happened. Sparty took some white angles on this fucking punt returner. A touchdown.
And then what? They fumble the ball.
Yeah, and a tragic fumble, and then
Iowa kicks a field goal.
And then Forenza's contract is coming into play. He needs to get to 20.
Wait, they scored a touchdown. They kick a field goal.
He needs to get to 25. Let me run.
So you're down 3.
Yeah. Let me run this.
Yeah.
Let me run.
I think something like that.
Let me run the entire. I almost had it out of my mind. It was a field goal to start it off, to tie it up with 5 minutes to go. Then a 70-yard fucking punt return, whatever, to make it 23-16 in the White Angle Sports. And then with less than a minute to go, baby Forenza's fucking Nepo, a corn baby, needs to hit his 25-point level and kicks a field goal. Kicks a fucking field goal to win by 10.
Love it.
And covered a fucking 9.5 with like 50 seconds to go. After the fumble that set that up.
Man, between that and your Duke beat.
Jesus Christ, dude.
You had a tough.
Iowa had a gaudy 222 total yards, by the way, in that game. Sparty almost doubled that. Jesus Christ. They ran for 63.8 a play. This fucking Iowa team is so infuriating. And how they cut it was gross.
Folks, you're going to hear more about that on the C block. The bottom line bombs is coming up.
Yes.
It's 1:20. What is it? 20 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah. 20
1:45.
minutes.
Yeah,
1:45. Get on over there. Get on over there and give CJ Sullivan a follow, might I add. It's not hard to do. At CJ Sullivan _. All right. On Twitter or X or whatever the hell you want to call this thing. But give him a follow.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys tackling today on the bombs?
Well, I give out the Monday night bomb, of course. I got a few more props, not just the Giants Seattle game. I recapped the weekend, recapped some of the NFL, the contest picks, the NFL, maybe a little bit of baseball there. I'll talk about my man Tim Wakefield, RIP, and a man in the box segment.
Oh yeah. Well, folks, make sure you check out that because that's coming at 1:45 Pacific time. And also give us a follow. I'm on Twitter at @TheColbyD. Also, the college football experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And well, by the way, I'll be back. We have an FCS recap show scheduled. That's actually going to come out tomorrow now. Had a little, my co-host had a little scheduling conflict, but we have college basketball content, the college basketball experience, less than 5 weeks away before the season tips. So we will have an Atlantic 10 preview dropping tonight. So folks, I think that show's scheduled for, around 6:00 or something, but check out that. Remember, I host the college basketball experience. We also have the, college football experience, the FCS college football experience, the college baseball experience. And and the Big 12 experience now with Moneyline Mac, as I'm sure he's fucking delighted as West Virginia picks up a huge road win. So check out all of those. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/thecollegeexperience. And check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Get that SGPN app to get access to all of our articles, our contests, our picks, all that good stuff. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. And come talk about the C Block in the Discord.
Yes.
sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Until next time, folks, this is the Bombs Down Under. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.